Hello and welcome back to another reaction. In this occasion, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, episode 13. Yeah, last time we have a funny episode on the first half because how terrified the Elric brothers really are. Because you have the master is a very violent, uh, very how to say explosive person. Yeah, that's I think that is the best word to describe the master. And yeah, all the antics, all the memories, everything that was given to us in the last episode, it was funny because yes, once you understand or once you start to think about the concept of this master just abandoning a couple of kids with just a knife in a deserted island, a very small island in the middle of a lake, but still it's something not common, and all the misadventures that they had, and they have to learn this way, and all the faces that were made in the in the beginning, because yeah, she's violent, she's explosive, and she's hitting all of them with ease. And we know that these two are capable of fighting quite well, but against the monster, they are pathetically weak, let's say. I don't know if because they are restraining themselves, because yeah, it's the master, so they have a little bit of respect for her, or because she's genuinely that strong. My guess is on the second one. I truly believe that she's that powerful, even though she's missing some organs. And yes, I love the relationship between her and her husband. It's so lovely because they love each other so much and they support each other so much. Again, it's a good example of a good relationship, of a understanding relationship, that they support each other. So yeah, it's an excellent example of another great relationship. But of course, all of this is kind of funny. It's very funny, the first half of the episode. But then we enter in the second half, and that's when a lot of serious stuff starts to happen. And not only that, in the last few minutes of the episode, we receive some of a very heartwarming moment. They are nervous because they didn't want to say that they committed taboo, that they try to bring back a human being into this world after they're dead. But the master was the same. The master did the same. So she understands better. And instead of scolding them, because yeah, that is the last thing they needed in this moment, in the moment they were confessing their sin, let's say, she just embraces them, gives them a hug, and it's such a warm moment. It's lovely. I love how this anime is capable of making you feel so many emotions in one episode, in the time of one episode. And it's so well done because again, it feels natural. It feels that yes, this is what they should be doing. This is what the characters in our anime should be doing. So yeah, Fullmetal was one of the best animes back then in the first iteration of the show, and this is pretty close to that. And I said pretty close because I haven't seen the entirety of this. So yes, until I finish watching this, and I promise I will finish watching this, I cannot give a judgment. But so far, it's an amazing anime. But anyway, yeah, I think I ramble enough about in this presentation. So yeah, let's just cut all of this and watch the episode, shall we? Okay, I'm back. I just watched a second time the 13th episode of the series. And yeah, it's kind of ironic because I was speaking that she didn't scold them and she didn't punish them for, the things that they did to try to create a human being. And in the first scene, we're seeing just, yeah, the only thing she says is, you're expelled, you're no longer my students. Yeah, I feel kind of bad for that commentary that I did before, because yeah, it kind of contradicts itself with the first scene we're seeing. But still, she's not being an awful person, and she is just doing what she deems correctly. And yes, they are sad because they no longer are their students and need to go away. They accept that reality and they are ready to depart back to their homes. But of course, the encounter with the husband is what makes it different. It what make them understand what they could be doing right now. Yes, he loves these kids. He loves them. And my guess is for him they are their kids. They are their sons, so they need to be taken care of. Because of course there's kind of a projection from what they did before, what they planned in doing, and of course they didn't succeed. So yeah, it's an interesting concept that we have here, that he's still telling them, okay, yes, sure, you are no longer her students, but you're still individuals, you know her. That doesn't stop you from, well, trying to get some information out of her, trying to get some help out of her, because now you are kind of equal individuals. You are not a teacher and a student. No, you are now two individuals who wants to gain some information, of course, wants to get help from somebody else. And they have the advantage that, yes, they know her. They have lived with her for a long time, and she kind of loves them. Yeah, even though she treats them very violently, and thanks to her explosive personality, she still loves them. So yeah, it's obvious that is. And of course, that's when the realization hit the Eldritch brothers. They thank Mr. Sig and they go back to their master, but now not as a student and teacher, but as individuals, as Sig said. And yes, I love the words, the last words that Sig said in this episode, or at least in this first scene, that try not to be killed by her. You might think it's an exaggeration, but seriously, the first thing she did once they returned is just throw a knife at them. And it's very funny because I love how angry she looks. But it's so cartoony. Again, we're seeing this difference between the serious part and the funny part. Yeah, she's angry, but again, it's a cartoon anger. It's not that serious. And yes, this is a battle of wills. They are trying to get information to recover their bodies, but she's denying said information. But at a certain point, she breaks and says, okay, sure. I'm gonna share whatever I have or whatever I could help you to recover your bodies. And that's when we go back again to a serious portion. That yes, the Master and Ed both have seen the truth. Both know that that exists, and that's why they have knowledge to, well, do alchemy just by clapping their hands. So they have a more advanced knowledge of the truth because they seen it. That's why. So they have to pay a price. Ed have to pay the leg to see the truth, and the teacher paid with several internal organs. So yes, they paid a price. But if we go to that logic, Al paid a higher price. He lost his entire body. So he will be able to see more about the truth. Because according to the price you pay, that's how you manage to do it. The bigger the price you pay, the bigger amount of information you get. So that's how they deduce that perhaps Al has the memories to let them know how to recover their bodies. Why he doesn't remember? Because yes, again, Al is not capable of doing what Ed and their master is capable of. But perhaps because he lost any memories of that, thanks to the shock of what everything that was thrown at him. So that's why this is an interesting portion of the episode, because yes, it makes you think that perhaps the answer was closer to them than they believe, and they didn't realize that before. So yeah, there is an interesting concept here that yes, they have the truth pretty close. Perhaps that's what the one who created the imperfect philosophical stone. I don't recall his name. Maurus? Marcos, I think it was Marcos. Marco, the alchemist. Now they kind of understand better thanks to the help of their master. But of course, that's not it. This is a very traumatic experience. They know because they live it. They know that their heads were about to explode, or they feel that their heads were about to explode. So yeah, that is a good reason to why. Oh my god! Imagine with the, let's say, short amount of knowledge, or the short knowledge they had before. Imagine what the price that Al paid, all the knowledge that he could possess. So yeah, it's going to be very dangerous. But they again lighten up the mood with the silly stuff. Because yeah, this is dangerous, but oh, this is intense or interesting. I love how ridiculous they look. The master and the student, they look pretty ridiculous. But that's the funny part. That is incredibly funny. And yeah, again, making you change the pace in the episode. So yeah, the goal now, or the thing that they want to do, is to recover the memories of Al, so they can be useful to well, make them recover the bodies. So yeah, that's the investigation. Unfortunately, they are being spied by what it looks like a man with a, well, a lizard tail. That's what I thought at the beginning. Again, these are murky memories for me. It's just not completely clear for me because, again, I cannot remember exactly what happened in every single episode of the last series. But anyway, yeah, again, this is a very weird episode because we're seeing different positions of different characters. First, we saw Mustang, that he is going to be transferred to Central City, and the general, which is in charge of East City, is being, well, they are playing a game of chess, and yes, this is apparently the first time that Mustang has won. I don't know if because he wanted to get in the good grace of the general and he always lose, and since he no longer needs the general, he can beat the crap out of him in chess, or perhaps he has improved with the passing of time. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, finally we met, and I mean met with names and faces, the rest of the Mustang squad, let's say. Because yes, they are going to be accompanying him in the journey towards Central City. And that's what he wants, because he needs his men alongside with him. He needs these men so he can do what he is planning to do, to take over the country and to help everybody else to be protected. Again, once you start to know Mustang better, you kind of see that this is a better character than we thought before. That at the beginning, if you saw the series for the first time, you're kind of saying, yeah, this is a funny guy that's helping the Elwood brothers, but he's kind of a douchebag because he wants something or another. He's not a dislikable douchebag, no, he's not. But still, he's not a complete character because there is still aspect that is holding him back. Later on, of course, we discover all the wonderful that is Mustang. So yes, and of course we met, as I said before, the subordinates of Mustang. In this case, Major Kane Fury. I hope I'm saying the name correctly, and yes, it's well, never mind. And we have, of course, the Baron Officer Bato Falman. Again, I'm not learning the names again because yeah, it's pretty hard. Then we have the second Lieutenant Heyman's Bretham. Then we have the second Lieutenant Jane Havoc. Yes, this guy is special. And of course, let's not forget, probably the most important here, at least for Mustang, is Lieutenant Risa Hawk. All of them are going to accompany him into Central. But again, the comedy side, and this is something I always love from the last series, the interaction between these, and especially with Jean, because Jean wants love more than anything else. He wants a girlfriend, he wants a wife, he wants children, he wants this happy life, even though he doesn't look like the guy that is going to want that. But of course, he just got a girlfriend. He has to break the hair because yes, they need to move to Central, and of course he's devastated, and the rest are just kind of helping be better, let's say. Anyway, yeah, another character we're seeing again is Scar. He's again training, even though he's not completely recovered, but he has a goal, and we're starting to see more about his character. There is a brother involved, and yes, I'm not saying anything until the show confirms it, until the show gave us the information, because yes, again, it's not the same if I speculate with a show that I don't know what is going to happen. If I speculate based on the information we're given here or in any other show, I will say, okay, thanks to this, I think this is going to happen. If that happens, again, it's pure coincidence, or yeah, kind of part of the deduction. In here, I have more information, so that's why I'm holding a lot of that back, because most of the time I'm gonna be correct. Again, and I don't want to ruin the surprise for anybody who hasn't seen the series. But anyway, yeah, we're seeing Scar, and he's been sold out, but not by their own Ishbala people, no, by somebody else, and this is somebody that I do not remember the role in here. Yeah, it's obvious that he hates the Elric brothers, but I don't recall the reason why. But of course, Scar deals with these two guys, no problem, and he just goes away. Why? Because he doesn't want to put in danger the rest of the Ishbala. So he goes away, and of course, alongside with this other guy. Then we return, of course, to Ed and Al. He's been dragged towards what is called the Devil Nest. They want something for him. They capture him, even though he's an amazing fighter. But of course, there are a lot more people there, and they are, my guess is, ready to fight any kind of circumstances. Or since they know that he was an armor, they were pretty ready for that circumstance. Anyway, yeah, they start to fight. Of course, Ed is kicking their ass until they develop, or they show us this strategy that, yes, perhaps he can move, but he is not as agile as he usually is in the circumstances that are given here. He's kind of restricted in the movement and taken down to the basement. We meet, and finally I can say it, a homunculus. It's not the first one, no. We already met Lost, we already met Envy, and we already met Gluttony. So we have another one, in this case, Greed. And yes, as the show explained, a homunculus is an artificial human. So this is part of this universe. This human cannot be killed, at least not that easily. He can recover from a wound that a human will be done for, as we saw here, that the head was completely ripped off of her, well, neck, or part of her head, I think it was, not the complete head. Anyway, yeah, we meet, and finally I can say they are homunculus, because yes, finally the show said they were homunculus, and this is when we discover why Ed was so important to these guys. Because Greed wants eternal life, he wants to be immortal. He cannot be immortal in this case. Yes, he's more resistant than a human being. He has lived for 200 years. That speaks volumes of how the longevity of the homunculus works. But he wants more. And the better way, according to him, is to embody his own soul into an armor. And this is when I posed a few doubts. A homunculus has a soul? In this universe? Because without a soul, how the hell do you plan to connect that with an armor if you don't have a soul? So this is the important part. Again, I do not remember exactly how this works. I don't exactly remember how a homunculus works. So that's why I have my doubts within this this universe. That's why. So this is an interesting premise. He doesn't know if he has a soul or not. So he wants eternal life, but this is, of course, this is different from a homunculus. My guess is technically he can eat, but he doesn't need to eat. Perhaps he cannot grow old. None of them can grow old. So that's why It's pretty difficult for them. But still, it's my guess is there is a limit as to why they can live, how they can live. Again, I do not remember the exact how this all works. Yes, I think it's going to be explained later on, but again, it's still kind of confusing for me in this portion. And yes, all the questions I have, I'm really holding them back because yeah, this is going to be explained later on. Hopefully, if I remember correctly. But anyway, yeah, this is an interesting premise here because now we're seeing another type of chimeras. The guys that work for this, man, for greed. And we're not seeing the monstrosity that we saw in episode 4, thanks to the other, and yeah, the monstrosity and of course the beautiful chimera. Yeah, I think you know which is the monstrosity. We don't see this very deformed animal. We're not seeing that poor little girl that cannot really make anything else than live in the side of the body of a dog. We're seeing humanoid chimeras. We're seeing, of course, the guy that looks like a lizard, has like a tail like a lizard, but the rest look pretty normal. Even the weirdest animals, because yes, a cow. The guy doesn't look like a cow. He looks muscular, and that's it. The dog doesn't look like a dog, or the combination with a dog doesn't look like a dog. The combination with a crocodile doesn't look like a crocodile. The combination with a snake doesn't look like a snake. Yeah, she's very thin, but that's it. There is not much out of that. The only one who really got the, well, the worst sort of this is the lizard guy. Yeah, he kind of looked like a lizard, but the rest are pretty normal looking. They could pass in the street and say, yeah, sure, whatever, it doesn't matter. The only one that really stands out is the lizard guy. So how did they manage to do that? Again, is the military effort? Yes, thanks to the information given by greed. But how? And why will they need the other asshole from the episode 4? Well, for them to create a speaking chimera, or perhaps thanks to the information they got from the chimera that was the wife. Thanks to that, they can create these chimeras. I'm not sure about anything at all. So yeah, let's continue because yeah, this is again a confusing part thanks to the background information that is not given to us. But really, it gives you a lot of questions. That's why, and how. So yeah, again, this is a very interesting episode. So yeah, there's something to discuss and all that, and they show off that really he's a homunculus and all that. But that, of course, is when you discover that he wants eternal life. But of course, and say, I do not remember how I became an armor. I don't know. So you need to ask the person who really, well, give me the seal. Of course, that guy is Ed. Ed doesn't want to give the information because yes, he find out the devil's bar or the devil's den or whatever you want to call it, whatever the name is. Yeah, sorry about that. By beating the crap of the lizard guy, and they start to fight because he's refusing to give any information to them. He just wants the information because yes, this is a villain according to Ed. He just wants the information on how to create these human bodies so they can create it for, in this case, for Al, and of course to recover the body of Ed. And this is when the battle starts. He just deals with dog guy like this was nothing because yes, he has fight somebody who is a lot faster than him in the death row, the other inmates. So yeah, he deals with them, and of course he starts to fight against Greed. The rest of the guys just run away and try to take Al as a trophy or I don't know, kidnap victim or something like that. And then start to fight, of course, Greed and Ed. It is a very spectacular fight because we're starting to see just how powerful Greed really is. He can transmute an armor around his body, and this is a very strong armor. And there is a good explanation later on as to why is this strong. At first he's just using this armor in his hands, so to protect himself he's not using the rest of the body. But once he stopped underestimating it, he used the armor in the whole body. So now we're seeing the true, well, not the true form, the armor form of Greed. That's not all, of course. We're seeing again the teacher of the master and her husband, and she's pretty furious. Why? Because they didn't pick up the broom from the ground. Yeah, and he started to follow them. They have informants, of course. They let them know that they are in a place called the Devil's Nest or Devil Nest. Sorry, I combined the word nest and den in the same. But anyway, and then we return to Ed and Greed, and we see the pretty beaten up Ed because yeah, he cannot damage this guy. His armor is way too strong. Fortunately, he could figure out a way of damaging the guy. He transmutes the armor into something else and something weaker. And that's why he's able to, well, damage Greed. And with several points, unfortunately, we're kind of seeing that, well, he is really tired because, yes, all the blood he has lost, all the fight that is continuing in this moment is starting to take a detriment in the health and speed of Ed. That is the major point in favor of Greed. Luckily for Ed, well, kind of luckily for Ed, the master arrived and just beat the, well, he just was dragging one of the henchmen of Greed with ease. I think it's the crocodile guy. And just throw it towards Ed, and yes, again, part of the comedic moment. Because Greed is not taking seriously this lady, the master of Ed. Big mistake. Big mistake. She already knew what he was and how to deal with this guy. She moves really fast because, again, according to him, he's not going to fight a woman. But of course, she reacts way too fast. Destroy the armor just like Ed did, and with a roundhouse kick, just throw him in the freaking wall. And that's when Greed realized that this lady is a lot more dangerous than what it seems to be. And I love the last phrase was said in this episode, because who are you? I am a passing housewife. That is such a badass thing to do, because she's such a badass. Oh man, yes, it is a very spectacular episode and a lot more action in this one. But I love the reasoning behind the armor. Yes, the armor is made of carbon. Because, well, that is one of the elements in the human body, of course. And I love how Ed deduced this. And yes, what is the strongest substance if you align it correctly? Carbon. If you align it, you could be as strong as a diamond, because yes, basically diamonds are made of carbon. So he deduced that he's using the carbon because it's the best way to create a basic armor, because it's a very, we have a lot of carbon in our bodies, because we have carbon-based human, but not human, life form. I think that's the best way. And of course, since his body is kind of humanoid, so that's why he deduced how he was creating the armor, and therefore he just transmuted the carbon in a certain portion of his body to make it weak, just like a pencil. So that's why the color never changed, and that's why he was able to, well, destroy the armor before that looked invincible, that not even metal could damage the armor. So yeah, a very smart way of dealing with what it looks like invincible foe. Yeah, I love how they are using alchemy, not just transform everything they want to whatever they want. No, they need information to make certain transformation. They need to make to know the material that is well, the thing made of. Let's say metal, which metal? Let's say, I don't know, wood, which wood? So they need to understand all these materials so they can transmute them. And I love how, even though, yes, there is kind of a magical element for this world, because yeah, it's impossible to do in our world to say this and transmute anything, or to create a circle, a transmutation circle, and to do, well, alchemy. It's impossible, of course. But you need to have a certain understanding of the material. It's not just magic by being magic. It's not, oh yes, I'm gonna do this even if you don't understand. Yeah, magic, it doesn't matter, magic. No, there is kind of a scientific background to this, because yes, in this world, alchemy is treated like a science. It's not just magic. Oh yes, do this and we're going to have a result. No, you need to understand the rest, and that's why he need all of that. He needed to understand the composition of the armor so he can transform it into something else, to something weaker. So yeah, I love that aspect of this animation. But anyway, I think I exhausted the topic of this episode. A very action-packed episode, a very entertaining one. See you in the next one. Bye. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video, and yes, thank you so much for your attention, guys. And as always, if you want to leave a comment, that will help me a lot more. If you want to give me a like, that will help me even more to get on the top of the recommendation for YouTube. And if you want to share this video, that will help me even more. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, guys, for your attention. I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.